What's up, everyone? My name is Alan, founder and consultant at For Now Marketing, and welcome to Liquid for Technical Marketers. Today, we're going to talk about and or logical operators. And there's only two logical operators in Liquid, and or. And we'll talk about how they work inside a Liquid conditional. Also, we will come back to this super informative Drake image later in the video. Previously, we talked about liquid comparison operators, and today we're going to be talking about logical operators. And similar to comparison operators, logical operators are only relevant inside liquid conditionals. So we will see liquid conditionals again in today's video. And as a reminder, for all examples today, if the liquid conditional statement is logically true, the message between the if tag and the end if tag will render. Let's look at that in BRAZE. Let's take a quick look at a BRAZE example. So here we have a variable called status set equal to VIP, all uppercase. And if status is equal to VIP, which is correct in our situation, we will see everything between the if tag and the end if tag. So thank you for being a VIP customer. Let's take a look. There we have it. One last thing before we dive into our logical operators, let's review the conditional statements and the comparison operators, as these two topics will also be relevant in today's video. We went over 6 comparison operators in the previous video: equals, does not equal, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. And in this context, our conditional statement is this full statement right here: status equals VIP. And then the two equal sign is our comparison operator, the for equals, the two equal sign. Now, where logical operators come into play is if we have multiple conditional statements, multiple of these logical statements that we are comparing, that we want to use in our liquid conditional statement. For example, what if we had a message for someone who is both a VIP status and has been a member for more than 5 years? Or how about just either one of those? That's where logical operators come into play. And let's take a look at the first logical operator, and. When using the AND logical operator, both conditional statements must be true for the logical operator to return the value of true. Once again, that's both conditional statements, not just one, but both have to be true for the entire logic to return true. And to clarify, only two conditional statements can be compared with a single logical operator for both and or. So let's take a look at a BRAZE example. Let's go ahead and create another variable, maybe called membership years, and we'll set that equal to 5. And let's go ahead and add to our existing if statement by adding the logical operator and adding another conditional statement that checks if membership years is greater than 5. And going back to what I said earlier, a logical operator like and can only compare two conditional statements at a time. We have status equals VIP and membership years is greater than 5. These two are the conditional statements that are being compared and evaluated for this logical operator and. And once again, this whole if statement will only return true if both the conditional statements return true when we use an and logical operator. So in our case, our if statement is actually not going to render true because we're checking to see if membership years is greater than 5, and in this case, it's only equal to 5. So if we go ahead and click test, we should see no message because this if statement is not true because only one of the conditional statements is true. However, if we change our membership years to 7, and now status equals VIP is true and membership years is greater than 5 is true, so now this should satisfy both the conditional statements, and this whole if statement will become true, and we should see that message render. Going back to our Drake image, it looks like this top image represents false, and this bottom image represents true, and then this image also represents false. So what we're seeing here is a combination of true and false will lead to a false under the AND logical operator. And that makes sense because both images need to be true for us to get to a true resulting image. Let's move on to the OR logical operator. OR is our second logical operator, and for OR to return true, only one of the two conditional statements must be true. So even if one conditional statement is false, as long as the other conditional statement is true, then the whole logic will return true. Let's go back to our liquid example, and we're gonna actually change our membership years to 3. So right now, using the and logical operator, this statement, if statement, is not going to be true. However, if we change this and to or, then because status is equal to VIP and we have at least one true statement, even though this conditional statement is not true, we are still going to see thank you for being a VIP customer render successfully. So in this case, if a user satisfies either one of these conditions, it does not matter which, they will see this message successfully. However, if both the conditional statements are false, so let's say our status is new, then the or logical operator will result in false as well, because this one is false or this one is false. The entire statement will be false, and then if we click test, we see nothing. Once again, back to our Drake image, we see that even if one is false and the other is true, we still get a true image in the OR gate. But if both images were to be false, we would see false in the resulting image as well. And let's wrap up this video by addressing one very common mistake we see when using logical operators. And we see this common mistake often when the variable we're comparing is the same variable in both the conditional statements. Here's a BRAZE example. Let's say we have a special message for those whose membership years is greater than or equal to 5 and less than or equal to 7. And intuitively, we may incorrectly write our liquid like this. So something like this, because it reads nicely. If membership years is greater than or equal to 5 or less than or equal to 7. However, one thing to note is that whenever we're using logical operators, both conditional statements have to be full conditional statements, as in both sides of the logical operator, both the left side and the right side, have to be full conditional statements. In our example, the two conditional statements that we're seeing is one, if membership years is greater than or equal to 5. And then the second one is simply just less than or equal to 7. So in this situation, we can't assume that membership years gets related to both the first statement and the second statement. We can't assume that this applies for both. Liquid will not know that it's membership years that we're checking to see if it's less than or equal to 7. Right now, it's just missing the variable. So to correct this mistake, we would have to put membership years on the right side of the comparison, the right side of the logical operator as well, so we can have a full conditional statement on both sides. And then let's see what happens if we run test. We do see that message. And one final note before we wrap it up, for simplicity, we did not talk about having 3 or more conditional statements in this video. However, if you're using the same logical operator for all 3 or more conditional statements, then the same logic from this video should apply. But if you're mixing different logical operators, as in you're using both and or logical operators for your 3 or more conditional statements, then be sure to refer to the Liquid documentation for more details. That's it for today. Thank you for watching and see you next time.